The following episode of Dad vs. Daughter was made possible by a contribution from Bezier Games. Hello and welcome to another episode of Dad vs. Daughter. I'm Tim the Dad, and yes, I am using the old school intro because we're talking about a reprint of an older game, and that game is CABO, the Elusive Unicorn card game. This is from Bezier Games, and this is one that my lunch group has been playing quite a bit. So let me show you how the game is played, and then I'm going to tell you what we think of it. In CABO, you want to end the game with the lowest number of points. So it's basically a card shedding game. Now it plays 2 to 4 players, and you can see that I have this set up for a 3-player game. Now the game is going to end when one or more players actually breaks the 100-point barrier. So the first thing we do is we deal out 4 cards to each player, and those are face down. Now, a player can look at any 2 of their cards to see what they have. So you can see I have a 9 and a 12. And on their turn, they can do one of 3 things. They can take a card from the discard pile, and they can replace a card that they have with that card. When they do, this card stays face up. They will flip this card up, and then it gets discarded. Second thing a player can do on their turn is they can draw off the top of the deck. Now, you'll notice that this card has an ability of swap. I could discard this card and play the swap ability, or I can replace one of the existing cards that I have. Let's say I'm going to replace that, and I'll flip that card face up, and then that goes into the discard pile. The third thing I can do on my turn is I can call CABO. Now, calling CABO ends the round, or starts the end of the round. So by me calling CABO, I don't do anything else, but all other players get one more turn, and they would be able to draw the cards and play their actions. When it comes back around, then everybody will flip over all their cards. And if I called CABO and I had the lowest total, or I had tied for the lowest total, I would score 0 points. All other players are going to score basically on the sum of what their cards are. So you can see this is a very high score here. Now, if I called CABO and I was not the lowest player or tied for the lowest, then I would count up and sum up what my total is, and I would add 10 points as kind of a penalty. Now, the deck of cards is made up of values from 1 to 13. 1 through 12, there are 4 copies of each card. For the 13, there are only 2 copies. And I had mentioned that there are abilities. There are 3 abilities. There are Peek, Spy, and Swap. So the 7s and the 8s are the Peek ability. And what that allows you to do is just basically peek at one of your cards. So let's just flip these back over. So let's say I had looked at these 2 cards to begin the game, and I do the peek. I can just look there. The 9 and 10 card is the Spy ability, and what that allows me to do is look at any other player's card. And then finally, the 11 and the 12 allows you to do the Swap ability. And all the Swap ability does is allows you to swap cards with one other opponent just like that. Now, there is a special rule that is called Kamikaze. Now, the highest that you could ever end your hand with would be to have 2 12s and 2 13s. If you ever have that, that's called Kamikaze. And if you do that, then you are able to score 0 points, and all other players score 50. Now, it's hard to do because there's only 2 copies of the 13, so it's very tricky to pull off. Nobody in my group has been able to do it yet. Another kind of special rule the game has is that, like I had said at the beginning, the game ends when a player breaks 100 points. Now, if someone actually ends their turn and their score is at 100 points even, then they'll actually reset to 50 points, and the game will continue unless someone else has already broke 100 points as well. And I've actually been able to do that. It was by accident. I wasn't actually trying to hit 100 points evenly, but I was able to do that, and then I started winning hands, and I ended up winning the game after that. Now that I've showed you how the game is played, let's get to what Dad and his lunch group think of it. We've been able to play at least 2 games over our lunch period because the game plays very fast. Not a lot of downtime, not a lot of AP that you got to worry about. But it has been very popular. In fact, the guys that I've been playing with have asked for me to bring it back day after day. So we played it for a week solid. Everyone really enjoyed it. We had other players come in that were interested after they were seeing the rest of us play. They wanted to play, and they've really enjoyed it as well. The fact that it is got a simple rule set, it plays fast, I think that is really a good appeal for our lunch group. Now, this isn't a game that I want to sit down and play for 3 hours straight on a game night, but it is a good filler as you're waiting for the other bigger games to kick off. And the fact that this does play fast means that if you did want to play extended time, then people that want to jump in at the higher player counts, if you have more than 4 people, you could easily swap in and out. So it's been very popular. It's very accessible. This game is going to be coming out in retail in April. So if you like quick, fast little card games that got some take that to it with the swappability, I think you're really going to like it. I highly recommend CABO. Now, the game does come in this little tuck box, which I'm not really wild about, but I mean, it's a little simple little card game, so you wouldn't think much about it. Plus, you can see it's going to hang on a peg. It also comes with a little score pad. You can see it says CABO in the back, and it's, you know, pretty thick, and we've gone through several of these already. Could be a little bit bigger, but that's just really kind of a minor quibble. The cards, they're actually, because we've been playing so much, some of them are showing a little bit of wear, but other than that, I mean, they've got a good finish on them. The artwork is kind of more cartoonish, and that's okay for what it is. The card that you really want to get, though, is the Elusive Unicorn, which is 0 points. The game also comes with 4 reference cards that are front and back to tell you what the abilities are, tells you about your scoring, and whoops, there's the same. Show you that there. There we go. So you can see those are pretty nice cards. And the rule book itself is not very much. Little fold out rules on both sides. So that is CABO. Like I said, highly recommend it. And we will catch you guys next time. If you would like to support us, you can visit patreon.com/dadvdaughter.
Like and follow us on Facebook to stay current on our show schedule, sneak peeks at future shows, and to interact with us.